final story, Jackie, is shows that sort of justice doesn't work the same way for different people. A terrorist is back in jail for failing a lie detector test. That's unbelievable. I mean, if Prince Andrew had to face a lie detector test, I don't think we'd have got very. We wouldn't have had all these payoffs, would we? What do you think about this story?
Well, what we're getting is what you'd call a differentiated justice service, aren't we? Or a criminal service, where certain criminals are treated one way and others are treated another way. Now, in a way, that's only actually establishing in fact what has always happened. Because if you look and see, and it's a bit like what I was saying before about drugs, if you look and see who's actually jailed for crime, it's basically the working classes and the oppressed. It's not, our prisons are not full of people who fiddle their tax returns or who sleep with young girls from the upper classes. They're filled with the working classes, with people from children's homes, from people from deprived backgrounds, and a large proportion of those are people with mental health problems and people who can't read. So there's all sorts. That's what we do with people who we've already oppressed. That's one thing. And the other thing I want to say is be very warned. When they start with just terrorists, they soften you up by you going, yeah, well, they're terrorists, and we're pretty scared of these people. And then suddenly you'll find that they apply that to other people. There's also the issue of who they name as terrorists. I don't know if any of you remember, but not so long ago, there was a discussion as to whether a number of organizations on the left should be named as terrorists. Certainly a lot of anti-Zionist organizations should be named as terrorists. So we need to watch the language that is used. For example, in this article, they call this action groundbreaking. What they mean is there's no other country in the world that does anything like this. There's somebody who's come up with this, and they're just trying it out, and it makes really good newspaper fodder. And then if you look it through, there's no evidence, they say, that these people have committed any crime. So they go back to serve 10 and 20 years sentences, and there's no evidence that they've actually committed anyone. And the way they do these lie detector tests, they put them in a room and they actually create, they say, a sense of stress and pressure. I mean, some of us would call that torture. So again, they're softening us up to think we can actually have officially endorsed torture. Just one more note on the end of this article, I noticed that the Henry Jackson Society has endorsed this, and they're said to be an anti-terrorist group. Well, what they are is actually an Islamophobic far-right group, and a number of right Labour MPs are also, to their shame, part of this. The Henry Jackson Society, and this links with what I said about terrorism, in 2017 named me, along with Tommy Robinson, as the chief proponent of extremist speech. Now that is shocking, isn't it? So they then use Henry Jackson to endorse this. So apparently what I say is as bad as Tommy Robinson. Well, I would say that if you're in the establishment, I hope I do scare you that much.